Hi, everyone. So let's go ahead and get started. So thank you all for jumping on this call today. And I wanted to mention a few things first. So as I'm sure you're all aware with the recent communication that it is true, the Encompass offering will be paused. We knew that in 2021 would be a very busy year for windows and doors. Even with the new plant in Troy, Ohio, the capacity was way over what we could manufacture. And at the same time, the manufacturing team continues to work through higher than normal absenteeism due to COVID. So Encompass, there's a pause due to the capacity, the absenteeism at the factories, and then lead times that would have been extended far beyond anything we've experienced in vinyl or fiberglass. So in the meantime, the RBM team is working towards changes to the sales growth targets and VAI, and I'd encourage you to work with your leadership when it comes to the timing of these changes. So with all that being said, we want to make sure the field is fully equipped with the products available in which we want to, or which is why we brought Brian and George from the product team to give us some product knowledge for a refresher. And then we have Bree that will come in towards the end to cover what training resources are available. So let's go ahead. I'll pass it over to Brian.
Thanks, Jillian. Really excited to be here, team. I really appreciate you guys taking the time. I know you guys are all busy out there selling, but did want to spend some time today and give an overview of Impervia, really hitting on foundationally what our overall strategy is, digging into just some information about fiberglass, level setting this team on what makes Pella better than everybody else, and then get into some high-level detail on single hung, sliding window, and double hung. You guys have been inundating with casement awning, so I figured I would give you guys a break there. And then with the 2.0 patio door launching here in the summer, you guys are going to be inundated with patio door. So let's get started first on just the overall Impervia strategy. So you'll see a lot of this isn't new. You guys saw this in the winter business meeting, but did want to just kind of level set the group on our three main pillars. And you'll see this cascade across the whole product team and brands, and really centered around focus, simplification, and differentiation. You'll see the vehicles of how we deliver this change depending on the brand, but you'll see just strategically us amplify these pillars within each of our strategies. So first and foremost, target audience, single family new, semi-custom home builders, and multifamily new architects and GCs. So that's where we're over-indexing with Impervia. That's not to say that we're alienating our friends on the retail replacement side. We know that Impervia is really important there, and there's a great story that you guys have to tell in the home. The other important aspect is delivering on our 2.0 redesigns this year. So casement awning launched in January, moles in February, and patio door later in the summer. The other piece is we know that reliability, lead times, that continues to be something that has to be core to our focus and strategy. So as we think about Murray and removing the complexity, getting that down to an Impervia only plant is extremely important. Moving on to simplification, so having a concise reason to exist. So if you think about Impervia, that's really centered around superior strength and lasting durability. We then need to have streamlined head-to-head claims. So instead of having hundreds of claims, we need to have really concise, meaningful claims that really equip you guys to land the punch and win more business. Differentiation obviously is how we set ourselves apart in the marketplace. So as we think about that for Impervia, a lot of you have seen some of the bold, more creative ways we're demonstrating strength and our capabilities. So lifting a truck up, F-250 up in the air with Impervia casement lineals, different things like that, really to bring that to life. And then we need to continue to deliver on industry disrupting innovation. So ESO is just the first of many. We've already seen a really strong response there. And then we continue to elevate just our overall material story with the Elite Powder Coat finish. So as you guys would have seen here recently, we now meet AMA 624 and can expand our warranty beyond just manufacturer defects, like things like chipping, scratching, to offering a 10-year warranty against excessive fading and chalking. So if you move to the next slide, Rhonda. I just wanted to hit fiberglass at a high level to start. So as we think about fiberglass, that material is naturally strong and durable, environmentally resilient, and thermally stable and energy efficient. So I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but the original patent for fiberglass was approved in 1946, and we've seen the increase and expansion of this material used across the industry as well as outside of the industry. So looking at things like bridges and ladders and tools, recreation equipment like boats, really just as a testament to the versatility and the superior strength and durability in various environmental conditions. So really allows fiberglass to be a very good material from a fenestration standpoint. Move to the next slide, Rhonda. So, I said fiberglass is strong, and here at Pella, of course, we're not okay with not being the best. So we made our fiberglass the strongest. So if you think about how we approach our fiberglass, we really do it by focusing on strength at the core. So through our one-of-a-kind manufacturing process, we start with a structural mat where we place rovings in a very specific and intricate way to meet our high strength standards. So we then interlock that mat, and really another term for that is woven. And if you look at how other fiberglass manufacturers make their fiberglass, it's actually non-woven. So that hinders the ability for tensile, so pulling something apart, and 3-point bend, so pressure in multiple points on the product. So as a result of this proprietary process, we can actually achieve superior strength and greater durability versus the competition. We then don't stop there. So we take our fiberglass and we test it from -40 to 180 degrees. So there's confidence that it can handle extreme hot and cold temperatures, and that it won't warp, under extreme heat or become brittle under extreme cold. So thinking about the different climates all of you guys are selling in, whether it's, the Northeast and Canada where you got, really frigid cold temperatures, to Texas and Southern California where you got extreme heats and sand and so forth, this material really is designed to withstand, perform in any environment. Can you move to the next slide, please? So I mentioned just looking at how do we equip you guys with concise, meaningful claims. So we've done a ton of work validating, the superiority in our own physical test lab, and really can make claims against every single material out there. So even against other fiberglass, we have 1.8 times the tensile strength. And again, back to the fact that we have interwoven fibers versus random fibers. And then Fibrex, I know a big one you guys confront day in and day out. If you think about the story we can tell against them, 10 times from a bend test standpoint, the strength, and then 100 times more impact resistant. The other thing I'll call out is a lot of the content you guys are seeing literature on the web, we're taking the gloves off. We're calling out. So before we would call out wood plastic composite as an example, we are now calling directly out Anderson Fibrex. And then versus vinyl, so 9 times stronger from a bend test perspective. And then one thing I'll highlight is thermal set versus thermoplastic. So thermal set can't be undone, which is what fiberglass is. Vinyl is a thermoplastic, so theoretically it can melt. And then if you move to the next slide. Can you move to the next slide, Rhonda? And then wood, very important to continue selling wood, but I know that, as we're selling against, our competitors, obviously fiberglass is naturally resistant to things like water, rot, and insects, and it does not need to be finished it doesn't need to be refinished with powder coat finish. As we thought about, going after other materials that we haven't traditionally gone after, aluminum really rises to the top. So you think about price competitiveness, we're right in line with thermally broken aluminum, and we have a really great energy story to tell. So 3.5 times less thermal expansion than aluminum. And this is a big number, but it's scientifically proven. Aluminum is 5,000 times more thermally conductive than fiberglass. So condensation, the hot or cold to the touch. I was sharing I have an aluminum patio door, and I can tell you in the winters of Iowa, that thing looks like a sheet of ice. So you can imagine the comfort in the home is not there when you're thinking about aluminum. You can move to the next slide, Rhonda. So all that being said, why does it matter, right? So what does this mean for the end customer? Think about things like job site damage. So the impact resistance of fiberglass is going to resist job site damage. The durability and the longevity is going to reduce callbacks to the job site. It's going to allow that customer, remodeler, home builder, really to enhance their brand and reputation with a quality product to stand behind. And then, as I mentioned, just that elevator performance capability, air, water, structural, whatever it is, the material allows us to achieve higher performance capabilities. So at the end of the day, it saves the customer time and money and provides a product that is optimized for longevity. Move to the next slide, Rhonda. So I mentioned kind of the process of how we make our fiberglass. So after that's finished, right, we put our low maintenance baked on powder coat finish on there. So available in white, tan, morning sky gray, brown, and black. As I mentioned previously, the finish now meets AMA 624, and that enables us to offer a 10-year chalk and fade warranty. So thinking about long-term peace of mind for your customer, they can trust that the color and the gloss level is going to maintain its levels for 10 plus years or longer. So again, fiberglass is a material. It's really engineered to last and last and last. So a couple things to highlight. So rot and corrosion free. The material itself is great from an insulating property standpoint. It has the ability to stand up to extreme heat and sub-zero cold temperatures. The durability and even the componentry that we use is really designed for long-term operation, and we prove that out. As you guys were made aware, like on casement as an example, we tested to 20,000 cycles, which is the equivalent to opening and closing one for 54 years. So really, again, trying to leverage that long-term peace of mind. And then the material resists air and water infiltration. And then again, no painting or refinishing. So standing behind, really our hero claim, our proprietary fiberglass material provides unmatched strength and lasting durability. And then the strength of that material allows us to have sleek profile and that timeless contemporary style that we know continues to be to grow more and more in importance out there. The other thing I'll point out again is we go beyond from a testing perspective. So we test all of our products beyond industry standards and really to extremes, like I mentioned previously, -40 to 180 degrees. So any temperature threshold you can imagine, whether it's in the back of a truck shipping or in a home. Can you move to the next slide, Rhonda? So just a quick reminder from a warranty perspective. So this is our homeowner warranty, limited lifetime on the material, 20 years on glass, 10-year on hardware and color finish, and then again building on that warranty and adding that 10-year chalk and fade. 2-year labor from date of sale. Now, I do want to pause there because that is a really big differentiator. As I've done a lot of head-to-head analysis and looking at what other folks offer from a warranty perspective, many of those don't offer any type of labor. So that's definitely something, as you guys are working and selling against the competitive set, that's something you guys can leverage. And transferable 2010 warranty and no fees associated with that. Move to the next slide, Rhonda. And then thinking about the pro customer, so single family home, commercial building, we offer the 2010 limited warranty, so 20 years on glass, and then the same 10-year on the Duracast material, hardware, and color finish, and then again that expanded warranty on chalk and fade. And then the 2-year labor also applies to those types of projects. And then thinking about just the robust product offering. So really anything you need to meet a job requirement, you got casement, awning, single hung, double hung, sliding window, bays, bows, fixed, direct set, shapes, and then, building on that, the sliding patio door to accompany the project, and then the mold combinations that we're able to do both in the field and in the factory. What I've, pointing out also from a competitive standpoint, the molding is really something we can use to stand out. We can do bigger combinations. We can do them in the factory. And really that allows the customer to save time and money on the job. All right, and again, I was going to get into really double hung, single hung sliding window today, just because you guys you've spent a ton of time focused on casement awning. We're about to throw a ton at you on sliding patio door. So I thought I'd just do a quick refresher on double hung, single hung sliding window. So starting with double hung, it's going to be a 3-inch frame depth, durable block and tackle bounce system. Then you've got your tilt latch feature, which really is designed for ease of cleaning for the customer. and then an integrated sash lift on the top and bottom sash, and then you can see that little on the picture recessed, in the upper sash for operation up there. We think about how we manage air and water. So it really starts with that slope sill at the bottom, which is designed to ensure water flows away from the interior. And then on the inside, there's about a 2-inch tall sill dam, which ensures water, during a heavy rain, wind-driven rain type scenario, that it cannot come room side. Then if you look in the middle there, you've got your interlocking check rail and weather strip, which is designed to make sure the sashes come together and seal really tightly. And then bottom left, we've got our triple, 3-piece weather strip system around the perimeter with a thick bulb at the bottom, which is designed to maximize overall air and water performance. Moving on to the single hung. So similar to the double hung, it's going to have a durable block and tackle bounce system. It will be a side load sash versus a tilt sash, but that lower sash can be removed so the customer can clean their glass. The other thing I'll point out is the integrated sash lift. So again, trying to have that solution to make it easier to operate. And if we move to air and water performance, you're going to see a continuous weather strip around the perimeter, the similar interlocking check rail and weather strip as the double hung. And then moving on to the offset weep system, this really serves as our last line of defense. So this channels water away from the interior, and the offset of it is really intentional. So it allows water to get out, but prevents air and bugs from getting back in. So really intentionally designed there to have that water management while also not allowing dirt, debris, bugs, and so forth to get into the window. Moving on to sliding window. So really this is very similar to the single hung. It shares the same frame and design features as the single hung, but of course slides side to side versus up and down. Very robust air management system, exactly like the single hung, so I won't belabor that. The one thing I'll point out is we do use dual nylon rollers, and really the objective of that is to ensure a smooth, long-term, durable operation. The other thing I'll point out is we do have a complementary fixed option to go with all 3 of these product types with matching sight lines, so you have a nice, clean aesthetic from the interior. With that, that's my spiel on Impervia today. Again, thank you guys for taking the time to jump on, and I'll turn it over to my esteemed colleague George to take you guys through.
All right, thanks, Brian. Just an amazing product line with Impervia, positioned to grow, and even more as you have put out the casement, moles, and door coming soon. So, good afternoon. My name is George Blom. Really excited to share some updates with you. I think a lot of this has been already positioned. I'm going to try to be a refresher. I'm not going to try to go and go into so much detail, but what I'm going to touch on is 350 series elimination. I'm just going to be upfront. I'm going to be transparent, really trying to just create the mindset of where we're at, how we landed, and I think we owe it to you to understand the mindset behind it. And then the Encompass by Pella. I'm not going to touch on all the details, but we just see what the industry is under, the pressure that we see, and I'm going to acknowledge both of those so what is the product challenges we have with the elimination of 350 series and the Encompass being on this restriction. We'll touch on that. Then I'm going to go through 250 refresher. I'm going to go through the high points. I'm going to be really trying to make sure that you know what's capable in 250 series. And then I think the sales enablement team is going to make sure that if there's other trainings with much more detail, that you will have that available and know where to go. If brushing past some things that you really need, there is a lot of resources available. So I'm going to jump right in. Ron, if you want to do that. So again, we got these 3 pillars: focus, simplification, and differentiation. And when we talk about focus, it's really about customer first, only offering what the customer is willing to pay for. Make no compromises for those customers. Don't allow trade-offs, because if we focus on the one customer and win there, that's how we're going to win in the market. And the simplification, some of that's product, some of that is we have maybe one warranty in wood and a different one in vinyl and a different one in fiberglass. How do we simplify? How do we simplify product lines? How do we make it easier for you to sell? And how do we just have a simpler message? So there's a lot around simplification Now, I talk a little bit about product, but realize this is way broader than just product. And then differentiation, we don't want to be a commodity. We're Pella branded. We differentiate ourselves. How do we do that? It is on product, claims, service, and most importantly, our people. So as you look at vinyl, I've got these listed. So 250 series, what is the target audience? It's the in-home replacement. That is where we're focused. In-home, 3¼ inch frame, vinyl replacement. That is the target. Doesn't mean we're not going to offer a nail fin. We do today. But the focus is going to be that in-home replacement and how do we win there? And then if you look at Encompass, it is a single family new trade. It is really better fit for new construction where product and differentiation is less important. And so as we think about this focus, a great amount of this is around getting our reliability, getting our manufacturing footprint created to execute. So as we have all this busyness, we're moving all the vinyl out of Murray, Kentucky. We need to grow Impervia, and they need floor space, they need people, they need resources. So we're going to clear vinyl out of the way so that Murray becomes a truly dedicated fiberglass plant with the space to allow the growth and have the capacity to grow there. And then we're having 250 series plants focused, Macomb and Reidsville, North Carolina. Huge amounts of investment. Macomb going from wood to vinyl extremely rapidly, taking people that already know how to build windows, people that already know Pella quality, and reassigning them into the vinyl 250 series. And Reidsville is a brand new plant that was just getting its feet under it last year. Now this year it's ready to take off and grow. And then a big part of our growth is catching capacity in Troy, Ohio, a new plant, a new location, new people, new team, with all new automation equipment. It's not moving old stuff over. It's upgrading automation, high output, so that we can have a step level improvement. So if you look at what we're focused on, it's focused on the customer and getting the operations and manufacturing correct. And then under simplification, we've announced it. It's eliminating 350 series, and I will go into a little bit more detail there, both a little bit of the background and more specifically on the product. And a common bullseye on all vinyl products. This was a small and simple one, but we used to say Encompass had its own Encompass by Pella bullseye. No longer. They all have the Pella bullseye. So it looks the same for a job if you do have a mix and match. Everything comes in the same, and it simplifies our manufacturing, and we create scale by having one part number. And we'll continue to look and prune away low inclusion features. And when I say prune, I mean a prune. We're going to prune away some of the dead things that aren't needed so that we can grow the high growth areas that we need to in the vinyl product lines. And on differentiation, this sounds trite, and I know that you're going to, we need to own that we have not been reliable delivery. But I think if you think about how we are trying to differentiate us, if there's one thing we can do and create loyalty with the customers, it's just having good, reliable, on-time delivery. And that is our focus. That is how we think we need to differentiate in this crazy time. Again, we know we have great products. We want to have differentiation and innovation. But right now, today in vinyl, our strategy is focus on reliable delivery and use that as a differentiator in the market. And again, claims, messaging, how do we have simple messages? Give you the tools, simple, so that you can go be successful, and we need to be complete. So a lot in there. But these are the pillars that really I'm going to go into a little bit more. So Ron, if you want to jump to the next one. So our vinyl product portfolio. Encompass, it is competitively priced, easy, simple vinyl, low maintenance, backed by Pella branding. 250 series, innovation, enhanced security to make sure that you have peace of mind. 250 series really becomes the workhorse, having the most popular features and attributes. How do we make 250 series be the workhorse, the product that really can elevate us in the market? And then many of you not in coastal areas probably don't hear a lot about it, but we have two new brands from the custom window systems in Florida acquisition. We needed impact, we needed better impact, and I'll touch on that. But these, if you think about Hurricane Shield, that's really for Southern Florida, kind of the heavyweight champion. It is impact-resistant product with the most stringent coastal requirements. And then Defender Series, which is more of a middleweight window package. Still meeting impact, but it doesn't go all the way down to Southern Florida. but sometimes you just don't need that heavy beefiness, and Defender Series is a better fit for Central and Northern Florida. So this is our final product portfolio, but what is missing? 350 Series missing. So if you can go to the next one, Rhonda, I'm going to talk about it just a little bit. What did we have 350 in our portfolio for? What was it doing and why did we have it? It really, if you look at how did we talk about it, it was our highest performing vinyl windows. It was about standing up to extremes, exceptional energy efficiency, extreme protection for sound, most energy efficient vinyl window. So we really had that on the extremes, and that's really how we talked about it, and that's where it became. And what started to happen is we lost the middle, a huge frame depth to hit, very great energy packages. But when you started to do that, we started to lose the value proposition for the main customers. So it was a great product. No one's going to debate, was 350 a phenomenal product. It won Consumer Reports #1 vinyl replacement window. What a great accolade. And here we are eliminating it. So let's go to the next slide. I just want to show you a little bit of the sales history. This is a 5-year look at sales, okay? And you can see the red line is 350 series. So over the last 5 years, it really has not grown. The blue line is Brian's Impervia, doing a phenomenal job, growing 15% year over year. And then the green line is 250 series. Now we did introduce patio door and some other things. So you realize 250 series has had some tailwind just from products coming into it. But if you look at the trend, that trend continues. So last year in a growing market where vinyl is growing even more, 350 series was down almost 30%. So this also includes price. So if you look at it, growing market, Pella's taking price, and the last 5 years, the product is down. So guess what? We need to go invest in it. That's the obvious thing we need to go do. Do we go invest in 350 series? Or do we take those resources, do we take that equipment and repurpose it into the other growth areas? Well, can you click to the next one? One of the challenges we face is as 350 is positioned in this wide portfolio of Pella products, what you start to see is we have good, better, best, all good. But 350 series really starts to move on a price point up into the Impervia or lifestyle range. So now all of a sudden you have Impervia with the color capability, the durability of fiberglass, the customization of lifestyle, and the attributes and the grids and the features of wood. So really quickly, we start to kind of get to a price point that we add in our portfolio. We offer the customers better features and options. And so when we started to really look at this, we said, we create our own challenge. So what we started to do is look and create viable substitutions. So if you click on the next one, this really started to build a couple years ago. So the vinyl impact products. And what we did there, if you look at the 350 series, it was so extreme from a performance it met impact, yet it had less than 0.1% market share in Florida. We had to go and do an acquisition, and that really bolstered our product line. Pella Hurricane Shield and Defender series, more complete, more cost competitive, and easier to do business with. Year over year, we're up 300% on impact product in Florida, with the upside continuing to look like we don't know how high we can go. The Impervia relaunch, if you think about some of these extreme performances, some of the aspects that you really get into almost in a light commercial that 350 series was doing, well, Impervia relaunch that Brian is leading is really capturing that. It's really bringing in more size, more capability, new moles, all those capabilities at the same or lower price point than 350 series. And so it really started to become a better solution to the customers. And here's a big one. How about capacity? I'm sure there's a few questions in your head about, well, how the hell are you going to catch all this? You're eliminating a product line. 350 series has been dropping year over year. The unit volume is getting to the point we don't even have full shifts running on the 350 series, where we need to repurpose the people and the equipment and the floor space to Impervia in Murray. We are doubling down our capacity in Macomb and Reedsville. Will it be enough? I don't know in this market. Are we doing everything we can to have the 250 series ready? We weren't ready last year. We really weren't, and that's why you saw us keep 350 until we feel confident that we have a good plan to catch the volume and capacity. And then really having 250 series had to be complete, and this is going to be an ongoing investment. The 250 patio door, I'll tell you, once we launched 250 patio door, within 12 weeks, less than 3 months, you are already sold more 250 patio door than 350 patio door. Literally out of the gate, 250 took the place of 350. Freeform molds, new color palette, etc. Now, I'll tell you, this announcement really wasn't easy, and it's not always popular. And I don't think that is, I'm not trying to dismiss that. But I think I just need you to know it was important to do to invest the capacity to bring the resources to Impervia and 250 series. If we continue to have spinning plates, incomplete offerings, attributes in one product line but not another, innovations in spotty but not complete. That's what we were starting to run into as the growth came at us, and so a decision had to be made. So if you click to the next slide, there's some realities of this. And again, I wanted to address these. So this is a list of sort of the key attributes. So I'm going to just touch on these. I'm going to go through these so that I do want to make sure that we're on the same page. And impact we talked about. We have new products. Canadian Energy, Extreme Energy, Passive House. We're working to add those. We already have triple glaze ability for 250 series. How do we get Passive House certifications? How do we continue to elevate the energy package on the product and chassis we have? We're working on those. Commercial, light commercial, really Impervia is going after that. And the STC ratings, those are all available in the commercial segment where they matter. Two important things, smooth seam. We did a lot of research. We are not going to continue to offer this. The customer was not willing to pay for smooth seam in a 250 product. And we found that while it's great, it's nice to talk about, it wasn't creating the value that the customer was willing to pay for. And the door roll screen that we were not going to offer, high RNA, it's just not a good design. And so both of those, we really evaluated and said, we're not putting those into any other products. DP50, which is really important on coastal markets. Now the Hurricane Shield and Encompass meet that today. And the 250 patio door will meet it in April. So the time we eliminate 350, the patio door will have it. And then upgraded finishes, a vinyl customer, while we appreciate that we want to offer them, we see less than 1% upgrading hardwood finishes. So we just don't see oil rub bronze being a huge need in those markets. Laminates, certainly see that we have in coastal, and Impervia is expanding those capabilities. And consumer reports, I think this is important to think of the message. So we still get credit for having 350 series being #1 product. At the time, 250 series wasn't even tested. And the way we really are thinking about it is we have evolved 250 series to have the same quality, features, attributes, just at a more affordable price. If you look at a 250 patio door, it has almost the same or even higher capabilities than a 350 door. So as we've introduced new 250, we've actually taken the 350 features, not 100%, but in general, we have a better product at a more affordable price. Okay, so I think that was really important to hit on, and I'm sure there'll be some questions, but I'm going to try to keep rolling. The next one's a little bit of a crazy world, so it's not mine. This is not my, I'm not alone here talking about this, but it's a reality. The vinyl industry is just seeing surging demand. We thought it was going to end at the end of last year. We thought it was a sprint to the end and then we'd take a break. It's overtime. It's not slowing down. You see lead times. You see our competitors. You've experienced Pella's lead time that's been unstable. So we have the same challenge. And so uncomfortable, really not popular. But we did some purposes here, removing Encompass from the retail. So we can focus that volume on single family new and trade. Really, that's where the 250 series lives. That's where 250 is actually more successful, more complete, and has a better value prop to the customer in retail. And then there's had to be some allocation. I'm not in charge of that. The sales team is communicating that. but I call them, there was so much volume, nomads out chasing volume. We were up 45% first couple months. And if we just try to continue to serve whoever showed up without protecting our current or existing customers, we would have disappointed everyone. And so we certainly had to do something. And I applaud the sales team for taking and having those hard decisions now, so that come later, June, July, August, that we are able to serve the existing and core customers that we have. And we've taken price to the market, a second price increase. And unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not sure that will change or demand shape whatsoever. Everybody has moved up. It just seems to be been absorbed and moved on. It's more about availability. But we do have some gaps in 250 series exposed. So if you click to the next one, I want to put on these. We have egress sizes of a 3050 single hung. We are working actively now to enhance 250 series to meet that in that size. We have to go a little bit bigger with the travel of a single hung. And so we're working to close that gap. A 4040 sliding window to meet egress as well, scoping that to understand that. Then you get into taller sizes, just taller double hung, single hung, and a tighter radius. Those are gaps in 250 series. And again, our purpose is the 250 series is the workhorse, that we really need it to be complete so we don't have to have substitutions. So that's really that's the 350 and the Encompass slides. And I know that was probably a lot of background, and some of it was important and some of it might not have been, but I appreciate letting us just go through that. So now I'm going to touch on 250 series, Rhonda, if you want to click. Ready to roll. So this is a refresher. I'm not going to go into everything in detail. There's a lot more detailed trainings, but I am going to try to do similar to what Brian did and at least touch on the selling points and the differentiation of 250 series. So the next one is a complete offering. Double hung, single hung, sliding window fixed, casement awning shapes, circle heads, patio doors with 2, 3, 4 panel, transom side lights up to 8 feet tall. We have both welded or knockdown frame on patio door. Mold, just like Brian mentioned, freeform molds, super important so that we have factory mold easily and a continuous head and sill on transitions that are factory mold, certainly all the field molding capability that we want as well. So a complete offering that really lends itself to durability. So these really become the pillars. And I'm going to talk about the pillar, and there are some detailed examples here that I'm not going to make any of us read or go through. This is things just as a refresher. So no compromise on the vinyl. Fade resistant vinyl, never needs painting, low maintenance, does not yellow. White, almond, fossil. And we've designed to have stronger frames. We've built in quality checks so that on every piece of equipment, at every shift startup, that we do corner breaks to have the highest structural strength that we can have. And we have a higher design. So we've designed extra vinyl in so that we strengthen the corners and we have less warping, twisting to make it an easier install. So durability is a pillar for 250 series vinyl. The next one is performance. So very similar to many of our products. Ron, if you could click, that'd be great. This is our exclusive weather protection system. So the interlocker, sill, and check rail, under pressure, they actually lock tighter. So the more pressure they're on, they lock, and so they lock more, and it holds better to give better structural performance. Triple weather strip, we're one of the only ones that have 3 points of contact, 3 weather strips to keep the air and water out. Sitting next to drafty windows, you just don't have that because we have protected in almost every way to keep the air out, the cold air out, and the warm comfort inside. And offset weep systems. Many of our competitors just punch all the way through, which basically creates a direct vent for air and water. It allows water out, but it also allows it in. Well, we have offset, so it becomes a crazy maze for air and water that has to pass through multiple chambers so that it really allows for the performance, but it keeps the cold out. And then we have high performance DP50 upgrades available. So we're not afraid of those coastal markets, and we're ready to have those. All right, the next slide, please, on safety and security. Metal reinforcement in the check rail, stiles, and rails. Not every vinyl company does this. In fact, most don't. So every time our hardware goes in, The locks and keepers are fully seated, secured into that metal stiffener. It adds structural performance. It's a small thing, but it allows more safety and security and structural performance of our windows. And next on energy. Click the next one, Rhonda. Thanks. We have multiple insulating air chambers. All those are designed for thermal barriers. So every thermal chamber, it has to go through that. So the air thermal properties, we break that up. So literally the thermal breaks built into the window. And then having optional foam in the frame and sash. Very few do both frame and sash foam insulation to get better energy. Triple glaze across doors and windows. And this is our 250 series, 62% more energy efficient than a single pane window, which is the majority of what we're replacing. And having Energy Star certification, most efficient, we continue to have those outside certifications to show that. If you want to click the next one, innovation. So why do I say there's innovation in the patio door? Really, I'm going to talk about a few of these, and some of that is the flexibility of having a knockdown, and we're the first, 250 series was the first Pella product to have a knockdown frame. So it's not innovative to the industry, but it's great to have it in the product. Having 2, 3, 4 panel, 8 foot tall, special sizes. Down on the left, we're the first and only vinyl company to have special size BBG capable in a door. So if you're replacing different sizes, you can have whatever size door you want, and you don't have to compromise. So you're able to have a BBG into that door. And then the integrated flush bolt. Secondary lock ensures no one can get in. It opens to allow fresh air and comfort, and it has that locking so that it, again, you have safety and security with it's integrated into the panel. So it hides itself. It doesn't stick out. It's not an eyesore. So safety, security, innovation, flexibility, all built into that 250 series. Let's click on the next one. And so really, what does that all mean? Pella Bullseye on every unit. One of the strongest warranties in the business. And you know this hasn't changed. We continue to have a strong warranty, one of the best in the business, limited lifetime warranty. And then we proudly put our name on every piece of hardware. In the vinyl industry, that is not normal. We do that on every one. We put our brand, our script, the thing that's the most valuable part of our company, right on every product, because we're proud to do that. Those are the little differences that really set us apart. So the last slide, if you could click on that, Rhonda. So why 250 series? It's a full product line. We have gaps. We're going to continue to go after them, and I know there's a list of them, and it's our job to go continue to fill that out. It's engineered for performance. Special weep, 3 points of contact, 3 weather strips, metal reinforcement for safety, security, added performance, capability, knockdown, welded frame, 2, 3, 4 panel, different frame types for different applications, innovation with the foot bolt. And it's backed by Pella, one of the strongest warranties in the industry. So I might have rushed through that, but we really did want to leave some time for some Q&A, knowing that while we are a refresher, we could not touch on everything because we could spend an hour on just one product line, product type within that. So excited about hearing some of the questions. I'm sure that we've got a couple. I'm going to hand it back to the sales team, and they were going to give some resources maybe, and then lead the Q&As.
Thanks, George. Thank you, and thank you, Brian, so much for walking us through Impervia and some of our vinyl products today and giving us just a bit of an update and a refresher. We really appreciate it. So I know you mentioned resources a couple times throughout y'all's presentations, and yes, we have a lot of great resources available for the sales team that are out there on PSU, on products.pella.com, and then you can also reach out to myself, Breanne Williams, and Mitchell Beckman, our B2B trade activation specialist, and then Jillian Sebastiani and Jerome Watson, our retail activation specialist. And if you're looking for something that you don't find online, we can help you try to get that question answered. But we do have a lot of questions coming into the chat, so I will start off with some of those questions. But Before I do, I've seen several times, is this call recorded? Is it going to be sent out? Where is it going to be posted? So to get that answered right out of the gate, this call is recorded. We will send it out via email to the sales teams either this afternoon or first thing tomorrow morning. And I will also do my best to try to get it posted on PSU before the end of the week. So with that being said, let's dive right in. First question is for Impervia, and it is the vinyl interior frame. And why did we go with that, Brian, on the 2.0 redesign? The
Sure.
PVC cap.
Yep. Yeah. So if you think about the interior, so previously it was a mineral filled polypropylene, not really a clean aesthetic, very dull. So we moved to the acrylic cap PVC, and we're able to achieve much cleaner lines, a better color match, and really the objective obviously is to have fiberglass as many places as we possibly can with the strength and durability story we can tell. The reason we can't do that on certain parts is like in this case, it's fiberglass is really difficult like to fabricate, has no flex. So as this part pops in the unit, you have to have something that has flex. The other thing is achieving consistently clean end cuts and routed features is extremely hard on fiberglass. And we had to do that. If you look at the cover, there's multiple cutouts and different things to accommodate the hardware. So in order for us to sustain a cleaner appearance and quality long term that can be replicated, really was the catalyst to that. Also, ESO hardware is really tight, so that cover provided thin nature that cover allowed us to have, and the tolerances are extremely tight. Space required for ESO is really tight, so that cover allowed a thickness to achieve the space we needed to accommodate easy slide operator.
Awesome, thanks. George, this is probably your way, but with the elimination of Encompass, this came up a couple of times. Will that extra volume keep our lead times down on 250 since we're expecting to have more 250 orders?
Yep. I'm going to say one thing that I've had this this question has been asked a few times, and I'll get right back to that. The Encompass brand is this is a short-term problem. We have invested millions of dollars into Troy. They're learning. We're adding all this capacity now. It's not soon enough. We all know that, but we will get Encompass back into this channel. We don't want to have this restriction. And so I just want that to be clear. Like I talked about who is our core customer, single family new trade, which you guys serve extremely well. Obviously with Impervia and wood and all kinds of other products too. So I want it to be clear, like our goal is to make this as short as possible and get you back in business with that Encompass brand. Okay. But yeah, so we are going to, there is going to be a movement up. And so there's a bit of communication that I think the sales team is working on, and I am not going to try to be the end all. But what I think the intention is, we would not have eliminated 350 series if we didn't have a plan to catch it with 250 series. So the millions of dollars of investments, the learning curve that we're on, the added shifts that we're doing, everything that we can. And I'll give you an example. There's times in the fourth quarter that we were actually making windows in Portland, Oregon, because we had a smidgen of capacity there, and we shipped those to Nebraska, Chicago, Minnesota, Iowa, western areas where we weren't even in the distribution, but we just had so many orders. We're doing everything we can to have the capacity to catch it. I think the part that gets a really more deep dive is the color, the painting. We outsource that, and I don't mean to get into too many details, but the lead times of those are somewhat out of our control, and it's unfortunate. But we are working on how do we actually create potentially incentives on some of the other products where we do have stain or paint capacity to have a better lead time, and how can we offer incentives so that if we move somebody into 250 but they need a color mix, that we don't have these really unreliable service. So the reason I said differentiation is one of our main pillars around being reliable. We are doing everything we can to catch it. and I mean that. It is going to be at times unprofitable to do certain things, but it's what we need to do to keep the customer and get you out of the mess we've been in. So here's what I would say. You've heard that before, so I don't want to overpromise. I think that's all we need to know is we've had other widgets. We've got other ideas with 250 series. Some of those product gaps, we've diverted people away from adding certain things, maybe a better color option, but we've added them into or repurposed them to get the capacity we need to catch the volume that we believe is out there. So it doesn't mean it's going to be forever. It means it's a pause because we have to have the capacity to get out ahead of this. So long-winded, sorry, question there, but I think it was a really good one. Long-winded answer to a really good question.
Thanks, George. Brian, we've got a couple Impervia questions here, and just for time's sake, I'm going to let everyone know I'm doing my best to get through all these. We have a lot of questions. We are not going to get through all of them today, but we will work together as a team to get them answered and try to get some answers to you guys at some point out in the field. So this question, Brian, is can a customer paint the Impervia windows without voiding the warranty?
Yeah, I will say it's difficult. The powder coat finish with the gloss, it is difficult to refinish, but I'm not going to give you the way to do it because typically we would turn that over to the paint manufacturer. It would not void the warranty of the material, but it would void the fade chalk warranty because you're obviously covering that coating up. Great.
And I don't know if you'll know this one or not, Brian, but is Marvin's fiberglass non-woven?
Yes, so that's kind of what I was trying to hit on, in my presentation. We're the only company that uses a woven fiberglass. Milgard, Marvin, Duxton, all the little small guys up in Canada, all use a non-woven fiberglass, which is why we're able to achieve that superior strength.
Awesome. And will the Impervia single hung end up with an optional CW50 rating?
So today on 1.0, you can get the DP50 performance package. Our objective on 2.0 is to have that out the box DP50.
Awesome. So lots of questions today on the Impervia sliding patio door. People want to know, are there going to be more sizes? Are there going to be more door opening options, and just all about it? So can you kind of just give us maybe an update on that and what to expect in the coming months?
Yep, I'd love to. So like I mentioned, we're going to start kicking off heavy engagement with this group from a training perspective. Just a couple high level just on the timeline and what we're doing. So in May, we'll be launching the base, I'm calling it. So that'll be 2-panel, 3-panel, up to 8 foot tall, BBGs, secondary lock, screen on the inside. There's a lot of great features we're delivering with that. As we get into the summer, we'll have knockdown similar to what George has on 250. We'll have a knockdown capability, which will also allow us to go to the 9 and 10 foot height. So we will be expanding our height range, which is going to be late summer, call it August timeframe. We'll also be offering 4-panel. So yeah, we are expanding to 3 and 4-panel, and we're also going up to 10 foot in height. Panel width will go up to 4 foot. So definitely changing, upgrading the offering as we know size ranges continue to grow.
And as far as the Impervia casement awning goes, do we expect to have larger venting sizes on those casements in the future?
We're always like George, we're continuously diligently looking at gaps. So as we get 2.0 behind us and continue to leverage the resources and other redesigns we're working on, we will continue to look at those opportunities. So I just encourage this team to not be afraid to send us as much feedback as you guys have. It doesn't fall.
Great. All right, George, switching over to you for a bit. Any plans for STC glass for 250?
Yeah, great question. STC continues to be a strong need. We're looking at it. We have it in commercial, but we don't do it in residential, and there's some struggles for us to overcome with that. But certainly sound as we get people building closer to urban areas, airports, et cetera. That's clearly a need. And so we are evaluating it, but it's not in the roadmap here in the next short term.
Great. Are we going to have the option for taller sliding windows in 250?
So that's, we're looking at taller single hungs, double hungs, really, which gets into a Southwest market where we have the greatest limitations today. There are taller sliding windows that we have that we're working through equipment capability. So we actually have certifications for bigger sizes in the West where sliding windows are more common. And we're seeing, can we open that up and get the equipment capable in the East to have those same size capabilities. So we're looking at larger sizes, taller, single hung, double hung, and then sliding window as well.
Great. Are there any plans for extruded dark colors for vinyl? This example was black.
Well, we might have heard that's a trend. Brian, what's your inclusion roughly for black?
50%.
Yeah. So I mean, it's clearly something that, yeah, we are working on, and those announcements are not months out, but they're being worked on right now so that we can have I think colors on the exterior is a problem for us to solve. So I think that what we offer today works. It's got lead time problems, it's got some pricing problems, and we're actively working on the color palette. We're also working on different technologies because the actual technology is evolving quickly, and we want to have something that is superior. One of the things you're starting to see is colors, dark colors. People have rushed into things, made compromises, and now they're having field problems. I can tell you that we tested ours, as we always do, over and above, and have had no problems with that. But whatever we come with from a new color technology, we do think it has to evolve from a feature benefit to have the durability and long lasting that we want. So, great questions.
This one is kind of the same question for each one of you. Do we have any plans of a hinged door in Impervia or 250?
Yeah, I can hit that one first. I mean, I've been at Pella for a year, and I can't tell you guys how many times I've been asked for a hinge door. So it is part of my long-term roadmap, just to be transparent. I will say the unfortunate part is we are laser focused on delivering, the current phase we're working on, and then moving into single. So post phase 2 launches, we will be and already currently scoping, and the intent is to pursue a hinge door solution with Impervia long-term. I just don't have a good gauge of timing right now with everything else that's on the docket.
Same on 250. The challenge is when you start to do it, you put a tremendous amount of cost and into that to make a vinyl. Fiberglass has the strength; it won't have the same problems. But your cost gets really close to wood real fast, and so that becomes the challenge. What we really need is a cost-effective, right, at these price points. And right now, that's really a hard position to have and to really hit the right spot. So, and it's a need. It's not the number one need. So everybody lists it, but yet if I make someone choose, there's always 10 things above it. So it's certainly on the long-term list, but it is not coming soon, at least on the vinyl side.
All right, thanks, guys. Well, it is a minute after the hour here, so we will stop with that one. Like I said, we'll do our best to get through these questions and try to get them answered and get them out to the field. But we appreciate y'all's time today, and please check out the resources that we have available for you online, and reach out to your sales enablement team and your activation specialists. That's what we're here for, and we're happy to help. And we hope you guys all have a great day and happy selling.